Hi everyone. In this video, we are going to go over how to use Microsoft Access SQL queries rather than query by example. So to do that, I always like to open Microsoft Access and look at the relational database or the entity relationship diagram. So this is the entity relationship diagram, and I already copied it into the Word document, kind of to make it easy for us. And this is actually a school of business students who graduated or who are actually about to graduate, and we want to make some business decisions as a dean or some associate deans in the school of business. So we have this data set, and we have a couple of queries that we need to answer. So to let's look at the questions that they want us to answer. One of the questions is they want us to list all students who graduate in May 10, 2002, and who are accounting majors. So for this, I need to identify first the table. So I will be referring to this one. So let me close out of this. So they are referring to a student. So the student must be in the student table. And the grad date is actually, the grad date is available in the same table. That's the field that I need, and major. Major is accounting, so the major is also in the student. So it's only one table, right? So to do that, I will need to go to Microsoft Access, create, and then query design, close out of this guy, and then go to the SQL here on the bottom, right? So now I have this canvas. Now I can start typing. So they said list all students. So in this case, they didn't specify what. I think what is really relevant from the student table is the student first name and student last name. So I'll put S underscore first name, comma, S underscore last name, and then from student table, from student, and then now where. To specify, pinpoint what are the students that I need to retrieve and I'm interested in is the grad date. So we'll start with the grad date. So grad date equals, one thing that we need to keep in mind is there are some wildcard differences in terms of use. If we are using Microsoft SQL Server, we might be needing to use, single quotation, for example, for date. In comparison to Microsoft Access, we need to use the pound or actually the hashtag sign to enclose the date. So in this case, they said in May, which is 5/10/2002. Then I will close that. And then they said also the major needs to equal accounting. So, and then I'll run this guy. I can either run it from here or from here. Either way would be fine. So those are the students that are graduating. So you can save this one, save as query one, or take screenshot of it as it is. Uh, so this is the output. You can take a screenshot of it as per the directions here. And then you can also take a screenshot of uh, the query that you have or the SQL that you have recorded here. So now let's move on to the next one. So I'll clean this. Now let's move on to the next question. And the question is asking us, list all students who accepted an internship, including the job title and the name of the company. So this is a long one, right? So the name of the company is in the company table, right? And the job title is in the job table, and the student name will be here. So in other words, which are the tables that I need to use? So it's up to you which ones you need to go through, because here I need to connect the student to the job table. You can either go through the offer table, connect student to offer, and then offer to job, and then job to recruiter, recruiter to company. Although recruiter, we don't retrieve anything from it, or offer, we don't retrieve any data from it, but we need to include them in the join in order to be able to connect those tables, right? So again, I'm not using join in Microsoft Access because the inner join in Access is a little bit complicated in terms of parentheses. So that's why I'm using kind of the legacy way of joining tables. That's I will be doing here actually. So again, or for me, I will just go from student to offer to job to recruiter to company. I will connect those four tables. So let's start with select. And then they said S student first name, right? And then S underscore last name. What else? List all students who accepted an internship, including their job title. So job title. What else? And name of the company. So the name of the company is C underscore company or name, sorry. All right, and then now I will list all the tables that I'm interested in, which includes student, S, comma, and then offer, O, comma, and then job, J, comma, recruiter, R, comma, and then company, C, all right? And then now I will need to join them in the where clause, right? So I'll start from student to offer, and that's the common key between them is the SID, all right? So I'll just say S dot SID equals O dot SID, and so now I'll connect offer to job, and the common key is the job ID. So O dot job ID equals J dot job ID. Okay, and now I'll connect job with recruiter, and the common key is RID. So I'll say J dot RID equals R dot RID. All right, and now I need to connect recruiter with the company, and the common key between those two guys is the CID, right? So I'll say R dot CID equals C dot CID, right? So now I connected my tables, and I should be able actually to run it. See, and I have all the answers that I need, and I have, just kind of if you you are still kind of not sure, uh, let's run the distinct or before without distinct first and see how many records we have. We have 30. So let me include the distinct, although I don't see the need for distinct here. So we have 30, just in case. All right, so that's kind of how to run the second query using SQL. So now list the average salary offer by major. Average salary offer by major. So I need those two tables. So the major from table, and then average salary offer from the offer. So right. So I'll just say select, and then they say the average salary. So I will use the round. I like that round AVG, and then salary offer, comma 10 0 decimal, and then as AVG salary. All right, and so and then I want to group that by, they say major, right? So I'll say select major, comma, round, and then from student, S, comma, and then offer, because those are the tables that I need to list and join. All right, and then where. Now I need to connect them in the where clause, and the SID is the common key. So S dot SID equals O dot SID. So remember the O here refers to offer, right? Right, so now since I have an aggregate function, so I need to use the group by, right? Group by, and I always group by non-aggregate function, right? So group by major. Now let's run it. Beautiful, isn't it? And I have really nice cross tabulation table. Right, so now let's move on to the next one. List the interviews scheduled for December 1st, 2001 by company. Interview schedule, so the interview date is in the interview. Then I need to connect it to job, although the job is not really needed, but I can use actually the job title here. And then I need to connect it to the recruiter and the company because they want the company. All right. So let me go back here. So delete this and then select. I will start connecting tables starting from interview. So select, they said select list the interviews. In this case, let's say maybe job title. Because if I click on the interview table, it has only codes. So that's why it has only codes, which doesn't make any sense to select, the values from the interview table. So it makes sense to select job title, although they didn't explicitly say it. Select job title, and then I will say from. Now I'll start connecting those tables. So from interview all the way to company. So interview, I, job, J, recruiter, R, and then company, C, where. Now I'll need to connect those guys. So the job ID is I job ID equals then J job ID, and so the job ID, the job and the recruiter, they have the CID, right? The common key is the CID. No, it's the RID. So the RID between job and recruiter. So and J dot RID equals R dot RID, and then recruiter and company has the CID, right? So R dot CID equals C dot CID. Now I connected those guys, but what else do they want? Interview scheduled for December, okay? And interview date, interview underscore date equals, again here, the hashtag December, which is 12, and then 1st, 2001. Close that guy. And then I think we should go. We should be good now. Perfect. So now we have those two job titles that are being interviewed for in December 2001 first. So list the average bonus offer by company. Bonus offer. So from here all the way to company. Bonus offer, which is in the offer. Again, I need to connect those guys. So I already connected this guy, and I connected them with the interview. So instead, what I'm gonna do is I'll just start from here, clean that guy. Instead of interview, I'll just put offer. Just gonna have to save time. Offer. Instead here, I'll just say all. All right. So now they said they want us to by company. So C name, and then they want the average. So I like again using the round, although they didn't ask for it. Round, and then AVG bonus offer as AVG bonus. All right, so now I'll just go here and so they say average, no, by company. So in this case, I'm good. There is nothing to pinpoint. Instead, I need, since I have an aggregate function, I always need to use the group by. Since they want me to group by this guy. If they didn't ask me to group by, I don't need actually to have the group by clause, right? So group by, and then C name. All right, so let's run this guy. So there must be an error that I did. Group by C name. Okay, yes. So the round, I needed to continue or finish the round function, which is comma, then 0 decimal, right? So that's the problem. All right, so now I have really nice cross tabulation, the name of the company, and the average bonus point or the bonus salary. All right, so that answered that question, number 5. Now let's move on. List the average bonus offer by company. So now list the jobs that are currently available. Jobs that are currently available. All right, so job status. So let's just double check. Open, yeah. So you can actually click on the table to see what they have there in order to be able to answer those queries clearly. So open means actually the ones that are available. All right, so I'll just select. This one is basically using the same table. It's the jobs. So I'll just say select job title from job, where job status equals open. All right, let's see. So now actually this is where we have redundancy. Again, distinct will help us here. So again, for distinct, we need to use our common sense, so our own judgment. So in this case, if I run distinct, it gives me unique job titles to answer this query. What are the jobs that are currently available? So those are the ones that are available. So now let's look at number 7. List all students who receive more than one offer. Oh, this is a very interesting one. So list those students who received more than one offer. So I will list the first name and the last name of the student. And then the offers is here. So I need to count the offers, right? I need to use that aggregate function for count in order to know how many offers each student got, right? So I will just say select, and let's maybe just use the, for ease of finishing fast. So I'll just say last name of the student, and then I need to use, I'll just use count, and then count the primary key from the offer, because it's never going to be null, right? OID as count, right? And then from student, now I need to connect S and offer. Oh, all right, where S dot SID equals O dot SID. All right, so now I will need to group by S underscore last name. All right, so now, but they said greater than, the count of offers needs to be greater than 1, right? That's what they said, more than one offer. So here, this is where we will be using the having count. So just copy this guy here. Having count greater than 1. All right, let's run it. All right, so yeah, that's not a good idea to use count again here. So as, let's see here, they say offer count. I'll just call it offer count. All right, so those are the students or last names and the count of offers greater than 1. So very beautiful, right? So now let's look at the last question. List the jobs that require leadership and communication skills. So the jobs, in this case, I will just put the job title that require communication. So that's the skill name, right? So skill, job skills, and jobs. So those are the 3 tables are relevant for my query. So that's what I will do. So I'll say select, and then I can go from left to right or right to left. Either way will work. So let's go from left to right, starting with job. So I'll just say job title, and then from the jobs that require leadership. So from job, J, job skills, yeah, JS, and then skill S, right? Where now we need to connect those guys, starting with the common key is job ID, j dot job ID equals js dot job ID, and then I will say skid and skid, right? So js dot skid equals s dot skid, right? And now I need to say and the job description or job, actually the skill name. So just double check, click on the skill table, skill name, communication. Yep, should be leadership is here. Yep. So, and then I will say and skill name. So in this case, the in keyword works best because if we have a list or long list, in can work really good. So I'll say and skill name in quotation mark communication, close comma, and then leadership. All right, let's run this guy. Beautiful. So what about using distinct here? So that's kind of tells us a very good intuition that we need to use distinct. So now we have very reasonable job titles that require leadership and communication. So that was all that I wanted kind of to share with you today, and I hope that you find it helpful and useful.